Hey, what is going on, everyone? I am D Venom. I will continue on here momentarily. Um, I'm trying to figure out somewhere where I can sit, and I found a spot in the shade where I can sit and communicate, where I can sit and communicate with you guys, and not burn up or anything like that. But surprisingly, the weather is very, how can I say it? It's very favorable here in the valley. It's not hot at all. Actually, there's a nice breeze going, and people are out enjoying nature just as well as I am. Anyway, once I get to this particular picnic table, I can sit and foreshadow a couple of things with you guys and go from there. Um, Anyway, I want to thank my newest followers. I see that I have about 2 or 3 new followers, and I honestly thank you guys so much for following my platform or platforms even through times of adversity. I have not been as active on my YouTube platform like I have my other platforms. I created an episode for podcast last night, and I have been active on my Instagram and Facebook platforms, but I haven't been as active on my YouTube platform. And Spirit told me, I was going to do it yesterday, but Spirit told me while I'm in between shifts, because I have a new, place of employment. We have a lot to talk about, you guys, but I have a new place of employment, and I work split shift. So I get up about 3:33 a.m. and I get to work about maybe 5 something, close to, it all depends on traffic. But anyway, I am a driver for a particular company that centers around being there for autistic children. I mean, I just leave it as that. I'm to the point where I'm not going to be foreshadowing too much of my business. Not that I don't have a problem telling you guys about certain things, but in regard to my location and stuff like that, damn, I forgot my pen. I got to go back. I have to go back to the car. But as far as like my location and certain other things that don't need to be revealed, I'm going to keep those to myself. People are crazy, and motherfuckers will try to sabotage you, what you have going on, and whatever else, because they don't have that. And I'm not saying that that's any of you guys, but hold on one second. I'm going back to my car to get my pen, and then I'm going back to the picnic table, and then I will open up in regard to what I went through during my period of adversity. And even though I did not have to make the decision that I made, I could have stayed on that straight and narrow, but I made that decision not to. And I suffered the consequences along the way. But hold on one second. Let me get my vape pen and go back to the picnic table, and then I'll foreshadow. I'm not going to be here with you guys too long because, like I said, I'm in between shifts and my phone battery needs to be charged. Yeah, I'm just here to apologize for not being active on the platform, and to reach out to not only my addicts that are still suffering in the world due to addiction, but those that aren't addicts. Maybe you guys know individuals that are suffering due to addiction, and they could use someone that is living a similar walk to theirs, to help them out. Hold on one second. I'm at my vehicle. Oh, damn, I forgot I was charging this bitch. Damn. I'm sure I don't have no battery life in this thing. Oh, I'm sorry, y'all. I'm all up in the camera with my gap and everything else. Hold on one second. Nope, I won't be getting any juice. Hold on one second, you guys. I'm going back to the picnic table. Okay, I want to thank all 7 of you guys. It was a little bit more than that, but I thank anyone that comes into my live streams, my live chats, or anything like that, because you guys don't have to do this with everybody. That's not everybody, but a great majority of the world. Thank you, 17. But a great majority of the world on YouTube, you guys decide to take some time out of your busy lives to see what I'm up to. And I'll explain once I get to this picnic table. But the reason why I named or titled this live stream what I titled it is because I think it's important to touch on the topic in regard to addicts and adversity, because right now some addict in the world, thank you for the thumbs up whoever you are, but right now some addict is in a fetal position, crying and shit, depressed, relapse and some of everything else, because they are facing a phase of adversity, whether they lost their dog, a parent, a lover, their home, clothes. I mean, it don't matter. They lost something, or something is going on in their life to where they picked up that pipe, or they went around the corner to suck some dick. Excuse me, y'all know I keep it real. They went around the corner to hit that pipe and suck some dick. Anything is possible to where an addict will fall off the bandwagon and relapse. And some addicts will just pick any form of adversity so that they can get high. And that wasn't my case. Hold on one second. I'm at the picnic table. Now I can sit down and foreshadow a couple of things. Okay, I'm at a new park and I am trying to incorporate new people, places, and things in my life. And I understand now what some addicts have been saying in regard to playing Russian roulette, going to the same places, dealing with the same people and all of that type of shit, because it will trigger you, certain things in those particular areas that you used to deal with, that, you smoke meth at, or, you did whatever drugs that, going those same particular ways, something can trigger you and you could merge off real quick. Anyway, even though I have one person in here, I still have to tell my truth, because I've somewhat told my truth in regard to Instagram, Facebook. I definitely told a great majority of my truth via podcast last night. And I figured, I'm telling my truth on these particular platforms. Why not take the initiative to tell my truth on YouTube? I mean, YouTube is where it started before any other platforms. And I owe it to you guys. Ooh, I'm sorry, a bitch spitting, but I owe it to you guys to stand in my power, which a few weeks ago, I did not have any of this power, because I felt I hit a weak point. But I owe it to you guys to stand in my power, and I owe it to those addicts out there that are still suffering in silence. There's probably an addict in this new park that I'm at right now, bumping and masturbating in the bathroom and doing some of everything else, and they need to hear my ass. And I'm talking loud as fuck. I don't care who hear me, because I'm tired of being embarrassed in regard with my walk and addiction. There's no need to be, because, there are some things that are embarrassing, that y'all will never hear about. But, it all depends. Y'all may hear about some things, but, there's no need to be embarrassed depending on what you have done. That centers around your addiction. But anyway, you guys know, because I foreshadowed on several of occasions, that I was in a transitional stage, getting ready to move from my previous apartment into the apartment that I live in currently. And during this period of transitioning, unfortunately, my apartment was not quite ready yet. My new apartment was not quite renovated yet. So I ended up having to stay in motels for about a good week or so until my apartment was completely done. Anyway, I did not have to bounce back and forth from different motels. I could have stayed at one motel, but the very first motel that I decided to stay in, which is the Roadway Inn in Old Scottsdale, Arizona, That's where I merged off the straight and narrow. I had a 4-day weekend in regard to my previous job. And at this point, I was, pretty much starting to live the motel life. And the Roadway Inn in Old Scottsdale, Arizona, is next to a adult porn shop or whatever the case may be. And I figured I have a 4-day weekend away from work, away from the motherfucking co-workers and whatever else. I can get away with a little party session. No one knows where I'm at. I can, do what I need to do, watch porn, get scallywags, masturbate, rub nips, do all that shit, and I will be cool. Knowing damn good and well that once I emerge off the straight and narrow and participate in the devil's drug, it's going to be cool for the first couple of days until the paranoia starts to kick in, the psychosis starts to kick in, motherfuckers following you. All the negative energies and all of the negative thoughts that I, start to think once I get in the middle of the party phase, what you put out in the universe, you get back in return. And that last party session that I had, I was low vibrational, very, very, very negative. I was pulling in so much negativity. I thought the world was against me type scenario, but this is what I was putting out into the universe, and the universe was responding is what the fuck I meant to say. Thank you for the thumbs up. I really do appreciate it, even though it's 2 of you in here. Like I said, you don't have to be a part of my niche, which is addiction and recovery. I had relapse in there, and even though relapse is a part of some people's addiction, it does not recovery, it does not have to be a part of anyone's recovery, and that's why I'm taking relapse out of it. But anyway, I'm sorry, my ankle is itching. But anyway, so this particular motel, like I said, Old Scottsdale, Arizona, next to an adult shop or whatever. I had a 4-day weekend off. I didn't have to worry about members, co-workers, driving, or anything like that. All I had to do was score motherfucking drugs, get a scallywag or 2 or 3, how many ever I depend on. It don't matter, it don't matter what the number is, as long as I get a scallywag or 2 or 3, and some good adult movies and whatever else the case may be. And I'm not sure if I scored that particular night or day or the next day. I just know that me being a Scorpio and me being a magnet to whatever I think, and if my intent is real, and if I put those energies out into the universe, I'm going to get what the fuck I want, because I'm universally connected, I'm universally guided, and I walk with divine energies, but sometimes I can slip out those divine energies and do ratchet ass shit that I shouldn't be doing, like in this particular situation. But anyway, I ended up scoring what the fuck I was, what the fuck I had in my mind eventually manifested. And I got methamphetamine, and I'm not sure if I got a scallywag that particular night or what, but I just know that the merging of the straight and narrow began at the Roadway Inn in old motherfucker Scottsdale, Arizona. And I had my parakeets, the last 2 parakeets with me. Thank you for all 3 of you guys being in here. I had the last 2 remaining parakeets with me, and everything was fine. Everything was fine. I was over 100. I think I was going on 140 something days clean for methamphetamine. I was highly vibrational. The universe and source and the angelic, realm and whatever else was bringing forth all type of good blessings. And even through my, phase of adversity, I was still being blessed. I was still, receiving the synchronicities, but not like I normally would if I stayed on the straight and narrow. And, the fact that I fucked up my sobriety just for, and I'm going to, just to watch MMA interviews and shit and watch these dudes with their legs propped open with their bulges showing. I'm going to keep it real with you. There's some perversion behind that shit. The world is filled with perversion, and if you are asleep and navigating the world with your eyes closed, you will not see it. There is something with the motherfucking interviews with these alleged straight dudes sitting in front of each other with their legs propped open with these damn, you may as well say Daisy Dukes, dicks hanging to the front, the side, or in the middle. And what straight dudes do y'all know? And feel free to comment. Feel free to comment below. What straight dudes do y'all know sit around each other with short shorts on or tight ass jeans or whatever, exposing their bulges and you know, I mean, no straight dudes that I know do shit like that. This is all homoerotic ass motherfucking shit. And I can watch some of this shit and I can rub my motherfucking nips and get off without even touching myself because it's that motherfucking erotic. And I hate to, you know, keep it real and be upfront. You know, yeah, I seen someone left, but I can't sugarcoat. I don't want to sugarcoat anything. I want to keep it real because this is what happens in the drug world, especially in the methamphetamine world. It affects everyone differently. It affects me in a sexual way. But anyway, there is a lot of perversion in the world, and there's a lot of y'all watch that shit and zoom in on the. I'm not telling y'all what to do, but zoom in on the bulges and shit, and y'all will see some perversion. Y'all, you know, I mean, it's a difference when you watch it in regular speed versus watching it in slow motion. You will see a lot more. But anyway, enough of that. So that is pretty much what triggered me jumping off the bandwagon. You know, me watching the motherfucking interviews and looking at them damn bulges and whatever else the case may be. And not to mention, but molestation has a lot to do with it as well. But anyway, I ended up getting what I manifested, which was the methamphetamine, maybe a couple of scallywags, you know, along the way. And, you know, I was good to go. And then all of a sudden, a couple of days later, that's when, you know, the psychosis kicked in and all that type of motherfucking bullshit. And, you know, it was downhill from there. Anyway, I stayed at the Roadway Inn in Old Scottsdale, Arizona for about 7 damn days. And, you know, a bitch pulled out about every damn app that I have is centered around debugging hotels, Airbnbs, my damn apartment or your apartment. I don't care. I'm debugging, regardless if I was going through that phase or not. You know, everyone needs to feel safe because the world is not safe these days, and people will cross boundaries and look at your coochie and some of everything else without your motherfucking permission. So it's no different than a mother debugging a Airbnb or whatever because she wants to keep her daughters or her sons safe. What's the difference between me, you know, fuck the past or whatever, but what's the difference in me pulling out my detectors and debugging, you know, my area? But anyway, I got to that particular phase while I was at the Roadway Inn. And, you know, even though that room seemed quite motherfucking shady, you know, yes, I debugged it on several of occasions. And at this point, my phone needed space. You know, I needed to change my SD card, and I ended up changing it either at the Roadway Inn or when I left the Roadway Inn and went to the extended stay. But I need to find that SD card because, for one, it has a bunch of ratchet ass shit on there, and it has stuff from my apartment and whatever else. I'm fighting for my damn deposit. Yeah, we have a lot to talk about. But anyway, a fatal incident happened while I was getting ready to exit the Roadway Inn. I had stayed there, I had maxed my stay, and I didn't realize it. And you know, the owners or whatever, you know, they wanted my ass out. So I was trying to hurry up and get everything out of the room in a timely manner before my ass got charged again. And I did this. I accomplished everything, and I had a few more things to get, including, you know, this big ass bird cage that, you know, my birds were in. So in a rush, trying to get everything done accordingly, I grabbed the cage the wrong way, and it pretty much detached from the bottom, you know, the bottom portion of the cage. So I makeshift, if that's the correct word, put it back together so that I can get the cage out to the car, put it, you know, I mean, get it outside, get it in the car, and I can just worry about everything else later. So anyway, I grabbed the, you know, cage bottom after I, you know, put it together, you know, so-called put it together, and I pick it up and everything is fine. I get outside and I'm tall as fuck. So while I was squatting down to set the cage on the ground, you picture a giraffe, you know, in the Serengetis of motherfucking Africa, getting ready to get a drink of water. And you know how their front legs kind of buckle, you know, so that they can, you know, bend down to get the water. That's how my knees and shit were. They were buckled, and, you know, I was trying to lift myself up, and I didn't have enough strength in my legs to do that. And before I knew it, I went backwards, and my cage, you know, came with me. And I had bird seeds all over me, bird water over me, and, you know, that bottom portion detached from, the cage itself. And I tried to hurry up and put it back together. And before I knew it, one bird slipped out and flew away. And, it happened so quick, I couldn't catch, I think it was Bullet that got out first. And then before I knew it, the last remaining bird, because if y'all, been following me, y'all know that I had four. Two of them, Sunshine and Little One, passed away. They were the two females of a unexpected death when I was living in my previous apartment. I'm not sure till this day what happened, but they passed away. I had the last two remaining ones, which were the two males, the blue ones. And, due to my impetuous decision to merge off the straight and narrow, go against God, the universe, my ancestors, the spirit realm, all that, the spirit realm taught me a lesson. And unfortunately, my birds were the lesson. And I know that no one caught those birds. When they escaped, they flew straight up in the air and they got out of Dodge. And someone heard myself in the crash of the cage, and they came to my assistance. And at this point, I'm devastated. They came to help me, and I'm just like, shit, it's too late now. And if by the grace of God someone caught those birds, I would be so grateful. But in my heart of hearts, considering this is the desert and these birds were pretty much hand fed or whatever else, they're going to need human assistance in regard to food and water and whatever else, shelter and all that. Those birds died, just put it that way. They're dead, and it's my fault. And my cat, for instance, she went through a spiritual death due to me fucking around with methamphetamine. I will explain that some other time, because it's a really, really terrible story in regard to my pet parenting skills, the methamphetamine abuse and all that shit. And I just don't want to get into it right now. But, because of my impetuosity, I have no more feathered friends. And my feathered friends, just like any support animal, even though I couldn't walk them or anything, they kept me going each and every morning. They would chirp at a certain time, and I would cover them. Sometime I wouldn't. And, they were my lifeline to a degree. And because I made the dumbass decision to fuck up my sobriety or whatever, the universe taught me a lesson. And those birds they're deceased. So the good thing is I reached out to a friend of mine that gave me two of the birds that, I no longer have. And I told them the story, and they birds never stay off each other's backs. Okay, they mate and have eggs and mate. That's all they do is fucking suck and lay eggs. Excuse my French, but the fact that they have a abundance of birds, I can get a couple of birds to start me off and go from there. So that is one tragic event that happened during my phase of adversity due to me merging off the straight and narrow. There's a lot more. Let's see. Oh my God. With my previous place of employment, I will get into this here, real quick. Yes, I will admit, addiction did play a part in me not, being there anymore in regard to being a LSA and a driver for the intellectually challenged members and or special needs members that I, was previously working for. But sometimes in life, and I explained this too, I still want to consider Miss Mo my business partner, even though I'm just now reuniting with her because I went on that hiatus from everything, due to my relapse. But, just like I was explaining to Miss Mo, I mean, yes, I did mean to snap out on my ex-coworker, because sometimes in life you have to literally cuss a bitch out, because people will definitely cross boundaries with you if you are the silent type. And lately in life, I have been allowing ample amount of people to cross boundaries with me in the form of disrespect. And a lot of people think that if you are less than smart, you can't read between the lines when they are trying to be sarcastic or glib or whatever the case may be. And anyway, You guys know, because I've told y'all that I was homeless on several of occasions, and I was homeless here in the Arizona area, and living at Cass Homeless Shelter is no motherfucking joke. People don't wash their ass, their shit in the shower. People masturbating and doing a rush. People masturbating in the motherfucking bed next to you. Don't give a damn. I mean, it goes down in Cass Homeless Shelter, and I mean, it was to the urinals pissy than a motherfucker. I mean, these people probably never drank water in their whole entire life. That's how yellow the piss is, overflowing yellow piss. But anyway, I'm not sure if you guys know who the R&B singer Kelly Price is, but she's a part of a show that was featured on VH1, if I'm not mistaken, called R&B Divas. Her, Shantae Moore, Miss Chalet, Don Robinson from En Vogue, a couple of other females. Anyway, I never knew that Kelly Price was homeless until I watched R&B Divas, and she explained, to a degree, how she was homeless a couple of times in her life. And this is the reason why she worked extra hard in the music industry, so that her and her family or whatever will never go homeless again. And I get it, because, living that lifestyle is a very hard life. It could be tomorrow when you get the keys to your place, but it seems like forever. It seems like forever until you can obtain the keys to, some stability. Anyway, I know that before this incident happened, I had been checking on my livelihood in regard to housing and this new place that I reside at, because there still needed to be some documents signed between both parties and whatever. And at this point, I'm living, I'm still swapping motels or whatever the case may be. And I got to the point where I pretty much I'd had no more motherfucking money. So this is where I had to sleep one night in my vehicle. But anyway, excuse me. Anyway, I remember, I had to work in the kitchen on this particular day, which is not a problem. I worked in the kitchen as culinary before. But anyway, everything went fine. The food got made, whatever else the case may be. And, it came time for the food to be delivered to the motherfuckers that bought the shit. Anyway, I did not go on the delivery route. I stayed behind with a handful of members, because the rest of the members basically went with the main, if you want to call it a chef, but the main chef of the kitchen, to go deliver the lunches. So I figured while, that bitch was gone, I would take it upon myself to get back on my phone. And even though they gave me a 15-minute break, and little did they know during that motherfucking 15-minute break, I took the initiative to call those corporations in regard to housing and or Section 8 or whatever. Well, Section 8 is housing. And my new place of residence, I took the initiative to call them to see what the fuck was going on, but I wasn't getting any answers. Now, I can understand, and even though it was wrong, in regard to my decision, because my focus should have been on the members, I still paid attention to their motherfucking asses while I was multitasking. But anyway, that bitch was gone delivering the food with the rest of the members, and I took it upon myself to pull out my phone and see what the fuck was going on with my livelihood. None of them motherfuckers at work, even though I was getting a paycheck every 2 weeks, none of them are going to house me. None of them are going to, do anything, pay them motel fees or whatever. They're not going to do any of that. So I had to make sure that first of all, I had a motherfucking roof over my damn head in order to wash my ass or whatever the case may be, to go to work fresh and all that shit. So, anyway, the bitch came back with the members after delivering the food to the motherfuckers that bought that nasty shit. And I was on my phone. And they were like, they went to address me. But in life, people have the tendency to come at you instead of to you. And that shit gets on my nerves. I am a grown ass motherfucking adult that demands to be treated in a certain particular way. And if motherfuckers don't know how to treat me in that particular way, I'm going to show your ass. And in most cases, it's a hard lesson for a lot of bitches. And in this case, it was a hard lesson for this bitch. But anyway, they came back from delivering the lunches or whatever with a handful of the members, and they seen that I was on the phone conducting business in regard to my livelihood. And anyway, they went to address me, but they came at me and were like, "Can you take that phone conversation outside?" I'm paraphrasing their words. "Can you take that phone conversation outside? Blah, 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 blah. I gave you a 15-minute break and blah, blah, blah." And just the language was very glib. I'm not sure if you guys know what glib means, but very smart, just slick. But anyway, it was very glib. There was some body language involved with the bullshit. And then there was one of those type of smiles, one of those quick release type of smiles, a sarcastic ass motherfucking smile. So anyway, they were like, "I gave you 15 minutes, blah, 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 to conduct your business. You should have took care of that then, blah, blah, blah. The focus should be the members," and all of this old dumb ass shit. Well, it's not dumb, but all of that dumb shit, well, y'all know what I'm saying. And so, they said a couple of other choice words. And mind you, throughout the period of me working in the kitchen, they came for me, and not in a sexual way, on several of occasions, but I let that shit slide. So this particular point, I said a couple of choice words, and I know me, I'm bipolar 2 and I'm ADHD. I'm more afraid of my bipolar 2 than anything. But anyway, I got up, grabbed, my shit, like my food or whatever, and I went outside and I stood by my car and I continued to conduct business in regard to my livelihood. At this particular point, my ex-co-workers in regard to supervisors pulled up from getting their lunch. And the main supervisor that I was dealing with at this particular job went to address me and asked me what was going on, because I was snapping out, because at this point, someone answered the phone either in regard to housing or the new place that I'm at now. And, I wanted answers. So anyway, I told them, what was going on. And then I further went to tell them that I'm not working in the kitchen with this sarcastic ass bitch or whatever the case may be, because they came at me instead of coming to me in regard to, why I was on the phone. So I further went into the building and I went to go do something, and there was another supervisor or whatever the fuck you want to call them. They were sitting in one of the classrooms. So I went to further tell them that I'm not, working in the kitchen anymore with, that particular individual. And so they wanted to know what was going on in regard to the supervisor that I told that came back from lunch, and this particular supervisor. So they called me in the office. So it's us three in the office. I'm explaining to them why I'm upset. And eventually, one of the supervisors called the person that I got into it with into the office. Long story short, the director got involved in all this type of shit. And, I ended up getting into it once again with the person that's in the kitchen. Now, sexuality has nothing to do with it. Y'all know that I am an open and honest queen, honey. And not to tell too much, but this person is transgendered themselves. I just put it that way. They're transgendered. Anyway, I told some personal business in regard to some things, and I guess that cooked their cake. But my thing is, it's okay for motherfuckers to cross me or anybody and treat them in a particular way that they feel that they can get away with, type scenario. But then when that person that always stays quiet, never addresses the situation, comes unglued and finally teaches motherfuckers how they want to be treated, all of a sudden it becomes an issue. Now, I have employment. They didn't stop any motherfucking thing. But now all of a sudden I get fired from that job after they do a review in regard to the, what is that called? Incident report, because I had myself and the person that I got into it with, we had to write incident reports. And, it took me a while to write my incident report because I was more concerned about my motherfucking livelihood. And then once I got around to it, they reviewed it. I received a phone call, and basically they told me that they're going to let me go or whatever. And I was fine with that. Even though I was still in the phase of relapse during that particular point, I took the initiative, even through relapse, to look on Zip Recruiter and Indeed, and whatever other platforms that had to look for in regard to employment, because I knew that eventually I was going to have to fund my livelihood. At this point, I had expense, if that's the right word, but I had basically spent the money that I did accumulate from my previous job on hotels and shit like that, motels or whatever the fuck. So I really didn't have any savings left. But anyway, I came into, no, my good friend that I used to work with at the middle school. I don't want to say too much, but they have their own special needs or whatever. They basically told me about my previous job. They came to me with something else in regard to paraprofessionals. And I'm like, let me look into that, considering I used to work for the school system, whatever else the case may be. Even though, the school system, they're off more days than they're working. I don't care. This is an opportunity for me to get back on the bandwagon in regard to earning some or generating some money. So anyway, I looked on those particular platforms I told y'all about, and thank you whoever you guys are for coming and going. It doesn't matter if you're still here or if you're leaving. I really do appreciate your guys' energies while I explain some of the things that I've been going through during my little hiatus. But anyway, I found this particular company, which I won't expose, but they're here in the Valley. And matter of fact, let me see what time it is, because I have to get back to work. I'm in between shifts, like I told you guys. Anyway, they're in the Valley, and it centers around being there for children that have certain mental health imbalances. I don't want to say disorders or anything like that. I just like to say imbalance. And these children, just like the members at the previous job that I used to work for, are some of the most delightful children that I have ever been around. A lot of adults need to take, thank you for the thumbs up. A lot of adults need to take cues from the individuals that I used to work for and these individuals that I work for now. Even though, who is this? Amanda? Hello, Amanda. Amanda Bynes. The name that I keep associating with the damn actress, Amanda Bynes. How are you, Amanda? And thank you for being here and listening to me and saying hi. I appreciate that. I'm not sure if you're still in here. Yeah, you're still in here. Thank you. I was just explaining to you guys, a period of adversity that I hit, and I want to not only expound my truth to my followers or whatever, I want to expound it to the world, because there is an addict right now that is facing adversity, and they're turning to that drug of choice or whatever the case may be, or sex or porn or whatever, to surpass what they're going through adversity wise. And even though I hit a stumble, I'm here to say that it's not worth it at all. You can do better. Oh, thank you. Thank you, Amanda. I really do appreciate those kind words. And it's people such as yourself and your light and your energy, positive that is, that keep me and my platforms alive and going. So thank you, Amanda, for being who you are. Keep on shining and don't let anyone dim your light. Because that's what the world is all about these days, dimming people's lights that shine, bright. Anyway, like I was saying, where was I at? Oh my God, adversity. Yeah, my co-host helped me out. Adversity. I was going through a period of adversity. What the fuck? Damn. Y'all know me in this ADHD. I have paper and pencil and stuff in the car, but I don't feel like walking to go get it, even though I do need to get up and get ready to head to the apartment and charge my phone. Let me see. Hold on one second. I'm at 30%, so I definitely need to get home and charge my phone for a good half an hour or so. Let me see. You was going through a period of adversity, then you stopped. Um, yes. I ended up getting rid of the utensil, which is the bubble, the methamphetamine pipe. Sometime last week, I went to one of my favorite my favorite dumping grounds, and I ended up throwing that in the trash. So I ended up getting rid of those remaining negative energies that were lingering. And since I did that, even though I was getting or receiving synchronicities and angelic numbers while going through that adversity, or the adversity, I'm receiving them even more now. Let me tell y'all this real quick, and then a matter of fact, I'm going to upload the content for you guys, considering I already uploaded it on my YouTube platform and my Facebook platform. I'm in my Instagram platform and my Facebook platform. But I went to Jack in the Box, I believe it was yesterday, while I was in between shifts. And, I got a large fry and 3 egg rolls, even though I don't eat meat anymore. I thought they were, well, no, I didn't think anything. They told me it was chicken in that shit, and I still bought it. And it was good. It was hot as fuck, and I enjoyed it. But anyway, let me see. Oh, thank you, Amanda. I really do appreciate your kind words. Anyway, I don't know if I received the angelic number 933 prior to me getting my food, but I do know that that large fry and those 3 egg rolls totaled 1111. And I was so in awe by that. I'm just like, damn, even after a short period of going against the universe, source, and whatever else, I'm still being guided and blessed by the universe in regard to synchronicities. So I sat in my car in the parking lot, and I enjoyed my meal. And before I knew it, I'm recording my content, I'm looking to and fro, and I'm not paying attention in regard to the time of the recordings. And every time, or just about every time I looked up, it was a damn angelic number. And I continue to receive those angelic numbers well after the video had ended. And I wrote them all down for my own personal inventory. But anyway, as I was getting ready to take a bite in regard to my egg roll, I hear some walking on the roof of my car, and I had soy sauce dripping off my lip and some of every damn thing. And I seen a bird on the side rear view mirror, a black bird. It doesn't matter. It don't look, bitch. Not bitch, but what's that movie called? The Crow or The Birds? That was years ago. We're not getting attacked by birds. Our eyeballs will remain intact. Our noses, won't be bleeding because birds pecking in that shit. It had nothing to do with that. Birds are significant in regard to spiritual meaning, and I'm going to look up black birds, but regardless of the point, y'all know that I lost my birds because I just told y'all. And the fact that the universe blessed me not only with angelic numbers and guidance and wisdom, for that particular day, it also blessed me in the form of a spirit guide animal. That bird did not land on my on the roof of my motherfucking car for nothing. That bird landed, who laughing? Amanda, I'm serious, girl. I'm not playing. That bird did not land on my motherfucking car for nothing. That was all spiritually, it was all spiritually geared. Those were all universal signs. That 1111 in regard to come on now, a large fry and 3 egg rolls. I remember I went to Wendy's and I got some form of a meal, and it totaled, damn, what was the cost of that damn meal? $13.13 or somewhere around there. So what a coincidence that I pull up at Jack in the Box for fries and egg roll. Thank you, Amanda. And y'all don't have to agree with me, but I'm just saying, how and share some of y'all stories with me in regard to synchronicities. Maybe y'all went somewhere. Maybe you got your dog groomed and it came up to $50.50. This shit is real, and a lot of people don't think that the phenomena of the universe and these synchronicities and the magic of the universe is not. I guess I don't know. I can't speak for everybody else. I know the magic of the universe, but All of that shit was a sign from that black bird landing on my, I don't care what color, it could have been turquoise. It landed on the roof of my car, bitch. I'm not calling y'all bitch, but it landed on the roof of my car, and it allowed me to see it on the side view mirror, on my car's side view mirror. And I quickly flipped my camera to get a glimpse of. Y'all see it when I upload the content, but I was fucking them fries up. They were seasoned just right, bitch. They had a good ass salt on it, not too much, crispy. Them egg rolls burned the roof of my mouth and the side of them. Y'all know how something is hot and y'all bite into it, and all of a sudden you hear, because that shit is hot, and then you, I mean, it's just burning. I love food like that. Even though years ago I suffered the consequences, I ate something and it was so hot. After I ate it, a couple of hours later, the skin on the side of my cheeks and stuff, it was white, peeling, and all type of shit. I was in pain, but that food was hot and it was good. And yeah, I won't do it again. But yeah. Amanda, you said 1111 is a spiritual number. I always make a wish at 11:11 a.m. and p.m. Thank you, Amanda. And that's what this is. The universe is syncing me up with like-minded individual. I'm sorry if the camera was all up in my gap, but the universe, now that I'm back in alignment, is syncing me up with like-minded individuals. And my ex-coworker from my old job, you know, we are spirit. I can't speak for them, but I know that I'm spirit wrapped in matter, living a earthly experience. I'm here visiting this motherfucker to spread light and whatever else the case may be. You know, there's 1,444 of us that God handpicked to be his chosen ones, and I'm one of them. My hands are ashy as hell, but y'all see that letter M on my palm? And when I put my palms together, this line right, hold on, I can't do it because I got this line right here, when I connect it with my other palm, it forms the crescent moon. Y'all see this crescent moon on my thumb? Look it up on YouTube or look it up on any other platform. A platform. What the hell is a platform? Somebody tell me. But anyway, look it up on whatever social media platform you want to look it up on. The letter M and the crescent moon on the palm. It's some incredible shit. This is one reason why I stopped eating meat. But anyway, you are definitely right, Amanda. 1111 is a spiritual number that has significant meaning. I know that the ones represent the gates of heaven. One is new beginnings, leadership, wisdom, guidance. Child, it means a lot. And I'm so glad that the universe... another thing, I told you guys that I was interviewed by VoyagePhoenix.com magazine. I hopefully did not blow my opportunity, considering I was relapsing at the fucking time with, hold on. Damn. Oh my God. Oh my God. It's on the tip of my journey, Bold Journey magazine. I'm not sure if y'all know who Shireen Crutchfield is, but she's an actress, model, singer from the group The Good Girls. Anyway, she landed a cover on Bold Journey magazine. And not that celebrities have anything to do with it, but the energy, I have the energy to attract star power, just put it that way. As long as I stay in alignment with the universe. I've been fucking up lately, so I've been, just jacking up my blessings. But I had the opportunity to be in, and not saying that any celebrities haven't been a part of VoyagePhoenix.com magazine, but I could have been a part of Bold Journey magazine months ago, had I not merged off the straight and narrow and did what the fuck I did and fucked that opportunity up. I was in the middle of doing the interview and everything. Thank you, Amanda. I really do appreciate your kind words. And this is all because I put my hands up to the universe in regard to guidance, wisdom. Some people get their teachings and shit from man. I depended on man half of my damn life, and look where the fuck that got me. So now that I'm putting more trust in the universe and allowing the universe to guide me, life is so much better. And now that I'm speaking the universe's language in regard to frequencies and vibrations, things are definitely looking up. But anyway, VoyagePhoenix.com magazine merged off into another platform. And the person, I think his name is Nick, wants to keep an ongoing relationship with me in regard to interviews and whatever else the case may be. So they want to interview me in regard to this particular platform or magazine that they have going on. And that's a huge blessing. You know, I always try to downplay my endeavors or whatever to make other people comfortable. And I'm tired of that shit. I have major accomplishments that I don't talk about. And like, for instance, Shireen Crushfield, I have not talked to her, but I talked to one of the other female members of that group. Her name is Joyce Talbert. Look her up, Tolbert. She's an actress, singer, model, all that shit. Beautiful, a beautiful sister. I talked to her due to my energies on Instagram. We had a handful of conversations, and they ended up giving me one of their personal phone numbers. I know Joyce because she has a very distinctive singing voice and speaking voice. I was about to say the B word. That was her on the other line of that phone during those handful of conversations that we had with each other. And this is what I mean by attracting star power. If I can attract motherfucking methamphetamine and dirty dick and whatever else the case may be when I wanted to, why can't I attract abundance and all of this other shit? I just have to put my intent, my power, and will, whatever else into what I want to attract, and I will get it. Simple as that. But anyway, let me see what time it is. 11:19, and I'm at 26 minutes. I guess I will go ahead and somewhat wrap it up here. And that's another thing. You know, any other time I will sit in the apartment and record and blah, blah, blah. And I moved out of a situation where the upstairs neighbors, had negative energies. Even though I moved into my new nesting quarters with negative energies, I think my upstairs neighbors don't care for me. And look, Amanda, anybody could have the type of energy where you walk into a school classroom and a bitch want to fight you because they don't like you based upon your energy or your aura. And I never seen my upstairs neighbor or anything like that. And they're already stomping around in every room that I'm at. I'm on the bottom floor, they're on the top. They're already stomping around in the rooms I'm at and whatever else. And why do people feel like when you have white noise machines in practically every room that you are spying on them or something? I have y'all know that I have frequency machines for various different reasons, ADHD, bipolar, whatever. It keeps me cool, calm, and collective, and out of jail for beating bitches' asses. But, I think that my neighbors feel like I'm trying to invade their privacy because I have these white noise. I don't give a fuck what it is. I just know that I don't want to live like this anymore. And I don't mind apartment settings and stuff like that, but I want to be free. And in a nutshell, we were all born free. Heaven was not like it is, heaven is not like it is here on earth. It was totally free, or it is totally free, and whatever else. Eventually, before it's all said and done, before the inevitable hits me, I want to go back home, and not this particular home, the home that I'm looking up. Y'all see where I was looking up at. I'm not looking down. That's not my motherfucking home. The home where all of us were pretty much created. And I was talking to more spiritual people like myself. And do y'all know people, before I end this, do you guys know people that live the RV life? Or maybe are a part of a spiritual ashram or something like that? I looked into ashrams. I need to do a little bit more research. ASHRAM. Anyway, it's a community of individuals that meditate. They're there for each other. It's somewhere secluded in the mountains type scenario. It just looks like a very nice place for people that are on a spiritual journey to be a part of. But I'm honestly thinking about, in the near future, taking myself and us and living the RV life. I don't want to deal with neighbors on the side of me, right above me, stomping around, fucking, sucking, and doing all that shit, and I can hear. I don't want to deal with that. I don't want to see your dog pooping in my yard and your big ass don't want to pick it up because you too motherfucking lazy. You want an animal, but you don't want to clean up behind the motherfucker. I don't want to live like that anymore. I want to be free. I want to be able. That's why I like my job now, because it's split shift. So I have a little bit more control in regard to what I can do in between that shift and whatever else. So RV living is probably where it's going to be. Even though I do have, Section 8 or whatever, and they pay a great majority of my rent. Look, my rent is only $80. So I'm, yes, honey, $80 a month, until they find out I'm working. Then they're going to increase that shit. But my rent is only $80. So I do have it made. But at the same time, like for instance, I pay my rent via the portal, and let that be the reason the rent is paid. Anyway, I get home from work last night and I see some white paper in between the door. I open it up once I get inside, and it's a 5-day notice. Let me see. That's one of my dreams, to buy an RV and travel. Thank you, Amanda. Even you agree. People are tired of living in confinement and paying all of these bills and shit and not being happy. And, it's almost like this leopard that I'm not going to say I took care of, but I was a volunteer at the zoo here. I was a volunteer at one of the zoos here in the area, and I remember this leopard in this small to medium cage would walk back and forth, because the leopard had nothing to do except walk back and forth in that cage and be bored every single day. And that's how I feel, even though I have a significant amount of room in regard to my apartment or whatever, and I have a fireplace and all of that. That don't mean shit when you want to be free and when your soul wants to be free. My ego wants everything, but my soul wants something totally different. And I'm going to give my soul what it wants. I will be 49 at the end of this month. Shout out to all Scorpios, especially us real Scorpios that were born actually in October, not November, no disrespect, but actually born in October. Yes, honey. I am a Scorpio, Michael Myers baby. And shout out to all of my Scorpios. I will try to go live with you guys on my birthday. I'm going to try to upload as many scary movies that I can possibly watch from now until my birthday on all of my platforms. So if y'all see a bunch of scary movies and shit, y'all know that, I upload. I have to go to the bathroom, and I don't know if I want to take y'all. No, I'm not going to do it. I can't do that. I will put the phone somewhere so y'all won't see anything. But anyway, hold on one second. Then I have to get to this car. Vacant, perfect. I can go in one of these bathrooms. Make sure I knock, because people, look, you go to the Circle K and the motherfucking 70, hold on one second. Let me take this microphone off. Oh, I don't want to set my phone down right there. What did it say? Your mom's pussy smells like, see, this is what I'm talking about. Hold on. Y'all look at this. Hold on. What else does shit say? Hold on one second, y'all. Let me set my phone down. Oh my God. What, is this sperm? What is this? I'm sorry, y'all. I'm on YouTube Live. Hold on one second, y'all. Hold on. I have to make sure I wipe my phone after I pick it up. They be doing the most in these public bathrooms. But y'all know the Circle K bathroom and them damn Quick Trip bathrooms, they always good for having some dope head up in the bathroom doing some shit they ain't got no business. They do. They be in there pulling meat and doing something. Baby, hold on. Let me get out this bathroom. Somebody in the other style listening to me. And y'all know me when I'm on podcasts or on my social media platforms. I don't have no filter. I tell it like it is. Hold on, y'all. I'm sorry if y'all hear that, but it's normal. People piss. I remember I lived in Vegas, and I caught this teenage couple. I caught this teenage couple that should have had their asses in school. Hold on, let me wipe my phone off, y'all. They should have had their asses in school, but they was being ratchet. And I remember I seen them going into one of the bathrooms, and I crawled my ass right up in there behind their ass. Hold on one second, let me put my microphone on. And I crawled my asses right in the bathroom behind them. And never mind. Hold on, let me wipe my phone off real quick. Thank you guys for still remaining. I appreciate that. Now, what is this? Y'all know what this is? Why would it be up on this baby thing? Y'all know me, I go in the bathrooms and I investigate. Especially when I see something creamy. I like to know what it is. Okay, let me get up out of here. Hold on. Hold on, y'all. Let me make sure I got everything. Okay. Oh, wait a minute. I don't want nobody thinking I was in here touching myself. Let me flush this tissue down the toilet. Okay. Oh, I don't know who was in that stall. But anyway, I'm sorry, y'all, for having the phone all up in my face. I forgot where I was at before I went in that damn stall, but I'm about to head to the car and go home, charge my phone, put something in my stomach. Oh my goodness, that's what I need to do. Do y'all have a Quick Trip near y'all? Have y'all ever tried their pineapple whip? If y'all have a Quick Trip, their pineapple whips, I like to get the pineapple whip without the vanilla ice cream, but you can get it with the vanilla ice cream, and that shit is good. I don't really drink liquor like that, but I'm pretty sure it's good with vodka or some other clear type of liquor. Wait, hold on. Okay, I'm pretty sure it's let me see. Never seen that before. That's weird. You talking about on that baby style? Oh, wait, hold on. I forgot we was in the public bathroom. It goes down. The person that was in the other style laughing, they probably was in there masturbating. That's why they was laughing. I'm telling y'all, every time, not every time, but it never fails when I go to a Quick Trip or a Circle K. Mainly Quick Trip because it goes down with the drug activity in the stalls. But it's always some man in a stall watching porn and getting it in. Shit. Okay, I'm heading home. Oh my God, Amanda, I wish you had a Quick Trip near you because that pineapple whip, I'm not sure how old you are, but I am the age where the Miss Pac-Man bar was famous back in the days. And the Miss Pac-Man bar was so damn good. I remember, I think Pac-Man had he done got nobody's shirt on. I remember Pac-Man had, Miss Pac-Man, I think she had gum for her nose or gum for her eyes or something like that. But it was shaped like, Pac-Man, and the mouth of Pac-Man was open, and the ice cream or whatever, it was sherbet. I just know it was good. It was tangy. Oh, you remember that, Amanda? You remember that? I promise you, that was so good. I don't know why they took it away. That Miss Pac-Man bar was the bomb. I don't know if they had Mr. Pac-Man or not, but Miss Pac-Man, I ate the fuck about her, not in no sexual way. But anyway, the pineapple whip has a similar flavor to the Miss Pac-Man bar. What they doing? But anyway, the pineapple whip has a definite similar flavor to the Miss Pac-Man bar, and it's really good. It's really good. I wish you had a Quick Trip near you. What is this? 30. Okay, perfect. Oh no, I'm going back this way. What is it? Oh, these park rangers. They know me, especially at my old place of residence, the park across the street where I buried my two birds at. I've been quite ratchet in that part. This is why I'm choosing to go different places, like different parks and stuff, because my car has myself and my car has a reputation, unfortunately. I had a blowout on my way to my previous place of employment, and unfortunately, the passenger side hubcap blew off, and that's one way my car is identifiable while I'm out on the street. So I need to get some hubcaps and whatever else. But anyway, thank you, Amanda. I believe it's still you here with me. I appreciate you so much. I appreciate all of you guys. Thanks for the thumbs up. I appreciate that as well. Before I get home and do all of this eating and relaxing, I just want to reach out to those addicts out there and let you guys know that thank you, Amanda, even through times of adversity, you can pull through and make it out on top. And even though I made the decision, even though I did not have to make this particular decision to merge off the straight and narrow and relapse after, nearly 140 something days of being clean, I fought hard to get back to this point. I could still be relapsing, chasing scallywags, doing whatever the case may be, and just not taking care of my livelihood, none of that shit. But I decided, even through relapse, to get my ass on Indeed after I lost my job and keep it pushing. And that's what the universe wants to see. Satan, of course, you said I have to get back to my... Okay, take care of your laundry, Amanda, and I will talk to you the next time I go live. Thank you so much for the love and support, and may God bless you and yours. But I'm almost home, you guys. But, as I was saying, my addicts that are still suffering, if I can relapse for about a good 2 weeks, lose my job, and find employment not even a week later, and thank God that this job that I'm working for now did not drug test my ass, because I definitely would not be employed, because I was still dealing with methamphetamine during that time, that when I was hired. And I had a long talk with myself and my motherfucking ego, and I had to tell my ego, I don't want to hate my ego, I want to work with it. But I had to let my ego know, you are in a position, just like you were in a position when you were working for, your previous job. You are in a fucking particular position where you are there for the last place of employment were, intellectually challenged and or special needs individuals that were or are adults. This particular situation, these individuals don't have special needs or anything, but they do have their own intellectual challenges and or mental health imbalances. Anyway, I had to talk with my ego and tell my ego, I don't want to hate you, I want to work with you. And in this particular situation, you are in a position where you have to be there for little ones. And do you really want to fuck up and jeopardize someone's life because you made the decision to fuck around with the devil's drug? And I had to really have that talk with myself. And it's gonna be hard. It's gonna be hard considering the relapse is fresh, and my ego wants to party and do methamphetamine and shit. And that's going to be the biggest fight of them all in regard to myself and my ego, and trying to merge my ego into my higher self so that I can reach nirvana, or what's the name? Anyway, I gotta go because I need to talk to my my landlords about rent. Okay, I'll check with you guys at another time of day. Much love to my addicts still suffering, and namaste. Wait, hold on. Damn, how do I end this shit? Oh, here we go. All right, see y'all later.